What day is
Because there are
today?
2 select board people here. So it's a select board meeting.
Hey, we're on.
And this one's recorded.
We are live.
Your mic's on.
What? No cupcakes?
Say who's.
Ah,
Give me
there he
passport.
is. Oh, yes. You spent all day at your passport.
That's true.
No, not all day, just all after. First I went to work.
I'm
Next
just
time,
thinking
we
this
should
person
go
had
play
this.
I brought some. I got some chocolate, vanilla strawberry.
She's in
And it goes.
I like
that.
that.
I brought her. Anyway, you've seen her around.
That's nice.
Okay, so it is Tuesday, September 24th, 7 PM in the great town of Lee. Call this meeting to order. Do we do public comment? Has anybody seen the line? No? Okay. All right, so actually going to turn it over to the chair of the ABC.
Great. What do I do?
Welcome,
The chief.
presenter.
Welcome, the first presenter is, do you know Chief Dronsville?
I don't.
Oh,
So,
I can't. Chief, please, come, wow us.
hi, Chief.
Can we do the introductions? Do you know everybody else? How about if we just go around and just introduce ourselves then, please?
Just try to Well, you can start and then
Okay.
people.
All right, my name is Kobe Troidel. I live at 126 High Road. I am new to this work, obviously, not knowing what to do, but I promise I will learn quickly and do a good job.
She was nice enough to take the
And
position
we
of chair of her
very
very
much
first meeting.
appreciate you.
I've met Barbara, I live on Wednesday Hill Road. I've been on the budget committee since whenever.
Ever?
As long as you.
Yelled at me.
Dinosaurs, I think, were roaming.
They were, they
Yes.
were.
Me too. Scott Bugby, one of the select preschool and one of the members of the budget committee.
Rebecca Alford, chair of the select board.
David Benson, on also select board, formerly of the budget committee.
Tom Murdoch on the budget committee.
And there's
Denise
Eric.
Duval.
We're just
Well,
doing
I live
introductions.
Here you go.
My name's Eric.
Welcome, Eric.
Also on the budget committee.
Eric, this is Kobe. This is Kobe. She's a member to the budget committee and we made her chair last week.
Excellent.
They said they were going to make you it this week, so
So she was only a week chair. You were not chair. Yeah, I just heard.
No,
Sitting in a chair.
he only takes the minutes when we need to.
Tell them to read it.
Well, welcome, Chief Jonesfield, and we are looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you. So, this is kind of a little bit of an emotional presentation for me because it's going to be the last budget I present. I plan on retiring in the spring, and mostly that's what generated this budget. In past years, I've always tried to come forward with as minimal budget as possible. I try to utilize grant money to replace equipment, so we don't have to ask for money from the taxpayers for it. Since the end of 2023, we've applied for and received $180,000 of grant money to help us replace a lot of the major equipment that we have: portable radios, tasers, body cameras, cruiser cameras, mobile data terminals in the cruisers. The cruisers themselves, the last 4 cruisers we've paid for about 80% of the cost of the cars out of our special duty or outside duty line item. And what that is when our officers do traffic details, the money that's generated goes into this account and it accrues, and then I can utilize that money to purchase equipment without having to take it out of my budget. So keeping that in mind, I've kept the budget as, like I said, minimal increases as possible over the past several years. Staffing, we've been short-staffed since February of 2022. And what I've found is if we're going to attract good people, it's very difficult to hire people. The people who are applying don't meet the standards that we need. Made several job offers and people couldn't pass the background. The one who did pass the background dropped out of the academy the first day of the third week. Just wasn't for him, apparently. So I've started searching for people who are full-time certified and poaching them from other departments because that's what happened to us. But you have to pay for them. You have to pay them the money. So I've also been trying to do that within my own budget by eliminating one position to take that money and pay the current staff more to retain them and to be able to offer more to attract people. We were able to attract a full-time certified officer with approximately 6 years on, doing a phenomenal job. Another full-time certified officer with about the same amount of time on, who is going to be coming on in November. So again, you've got to pay these people. You pay it one way or another. You either pay it by hiring an uncertified officer and then investing a lot of money in training and hoping that they stay. But what I found is if you hire these certified people who've already worked 5 or 6 years, they know more what they want in an agency and in a town. So when we bring them over, they're more likely to get more time out of them. Will they stay forever? I don't know, but they'll stay longer than 1 or 2 years. So you get more bang for your buck, if you will. So the only increases to the budget are the chief's salary. You're gonna have to offer more than my salary if we're gonna attract somebody who you want running your department. So that's the increase to there. I've checked other departments who have hired new chiefs, and what I put in here for a salary of $110,000 is right where, in line with other chiefs in the area are being paid. I also added a little bit to the patrol line item. That's to be able to pay a certified officer. If we should be able to find another one, the money will be in there. And the only other increase is to the contracts lease agreement. Obviously, things are getting more expensive. So I just aligned that with what we spent out of the last budget. Haven't had to increase anything because I've been able to take care of the overages because we haven't paid the salaries for 3 employees for a number of years. But as we start to come back to being full staff, my goal is to have a department, will be accredited, all our major equipment will be replaced, we'll have a fairly new fleet of cruisers, and I can just hand the keys to the next new person, and all they have to do is worry about running it. So, anybody has any questions?
Well, I just want to say, at least from the select board's perspective, we're gonna miss you.
Well, I'm hoping not to go far, I
Bittersweet.
appreciate
For
that.
everybody's perspective.
I actually plan on running for town clerk in March. So still, I love the town. I've just had my fill of this job. It's been tiring the past 3 years. But I love the town, so I think I still have something to offer the town. So I'll try to do it in that capacity.
Oh, that'd be great.
Can I
Sir.
ask, I was going to say something else.
Is there a vehicle in here?
What's
Is there a
that?
new car in here?
Nope.
No, we don't need any new cars this year.
Well, if we do, there's enough money in the special duty line, we can purchase it out of that.
I was just gonna ask about the salaries, I just wanna make sure I've got this under my head. So the sergeant wages for 24-25 was 0, because we had no sergeant?
Well, yeah, we had a sergeant. What I did was, I realigned
Okay.
the budget so it matches what we actually have for staffing. The last year's budget didn't have a lieutenant in it, didn't have a sergeant in it, it had senior patrolman. So now you'll see we have a lieutenant, we have a sergeant. The new officer who's gonna be coming on is a corporal. So much like I did with Hunter, it's a lateral transfer, he's coming over as a corporal.
Can you tell me the order of these things?
Yeah, it's chief, lieutenant, sergeant, corporal, and patrol.
Sergeant.
And in between there is a senior patrolman position.
Okay,
It's not a rank, it's a more of a recognition for a job well done. And we have an officer who's approaching that status at the very near future.
do you have anybody that you think's gonna move, or is that reflected in these numbers? Someone
That's,
being
that's,
promoted?
that's,
Okay.
yeah.
And it looks like.
Whatever the new chief does,
Alright. Hold on, I gotta like follow lines. The corporal pay went down? Is there?
because we had two corporals, one corporal, one sergeant.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I was following. Okay, so this corporal line is for two corporals?
Two corporals, yeah. Currently Hunter,
Okay.
Roy, and the new person is gonna come in November.
And then there's one sergeant
Yeah,
and one lieutenant?
correct.
Sorry, I thought they were right down so I can keep track of them. It's going on great. And then patrol went down too, that's because they've gone to the different positions?
Correct.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
So in terms of the current budget you have, how many FTEs do you have?
How many?
FTEs? FTEs?
Full-time.
Full-time.
FTO?
Oh, full-time employees?
Oh, yeah.
Currently, we
The budget
have,
that you have right now,
what I have right now is 6.
6, and then what you're asking for is 7?
Well, I'm slated to have 8.
So to-
We're supposed to have 9.
Yeah.
We had 9 at one point, and then I eliminated one position.
But you're requesting is for 8
Is that-
full-time
I don't think that pays for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I have.
in the amount that you're requesting?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Tom, when you came in last year, when you talked about departments poaching and big upfront bonuses, is that still going on, and have you had to do that?
No, you're seeing the bonuses go away. They're offering a new person a bonus is not fair to the people who are staying with you. That's why I didn't want to do it. It's, what are you saying to the people who are sticking with you? Well, you're gonna bring this new person in and give them $10,000. And I think a lot of departments are seeing that it's not much of a retention, and it wasn't much of an attraction, because the people who are applying, again, aren't qualified. And I refuse to lower our standards just to fill positions. So it's just, there were years, 6, 7 years ago, if we had a position and we posted it, we'd have 80 applicants. Now we're lucky if we get 7. And out of those 7, we're lucky if 1 or 2 show up for the physical agility test. And we're seeing they're not even passing that. And a lot of departments are saying, okay, well, we'll hire you anyway. We'll work with you to work on the physical part of it before you go to the academy. Because it's just that hard to find people.
Can I delve into something you brought up earlier about your future plans? Let's say, we'll do a scenario, let's say you get elected. Will you continue to do stuff for the town part-time in the police department?
Yes,
Or on details?
yeah, absolutely.
That's what
I will stay part-time to mentor the new chief,
Yeah.
help with accreditation, and, yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
for a period of time, not forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love the job of police work and helping people and, being part of the community. But managing people, I'm old school in my style of law enforcement, and the other people who have been on the same amount of time as me is actually changing. Law enforcement in general is changing. So, and some of the things I really have a hard time biting my tongue on lately, so,
Could you give me an example of things that have changed for you? I assume they still go after the bad people.
oh yeah, yeah. So what I'm seeing is.
I assume.
What I'm seeing is the new, I hate saying new generation, but the new
Yes.
generation of law enforcement that we're getting are deathly afraid of being sued, things like that. So you're seeing less activity. Fortunately, we're not seeing it. Our people have been busier than ever. But in general, when you're on during the day, you don't hear as much activity on the radio. And the chiefs were talking, and we think it's just they're afraid to get into something and then end up getting jammed up. And, the people we're dealing with, the respect for law enforcement, and it's not the town, it's the transient people, and that's who we primarily deal with, the transient people passing through town, just have no respect for law enforcement. And, there's so many pursuits now, people are running for the police more than ever. It's just, and I think that a lot of the bad guys, they can sense it's like blood in the water. They know that a lot of police departments and officers are afraid to do their job, so they're like, yeah, well, I'll try it. I'll try running on them or whatever it is. And it's just, everything's changing a lot.
On a different subject, I found out if you contact the, I think he's the logistics officer at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard,
Mhm.
you can get rid of the Humvee.
Oh, okay.
They will take it.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, there's paperwork, of course, but
Logistics
I
officer.
do not know his name. I could probably find out, but
Okay.
I asked about that, and they said yes. The Peace people will not do it because they're not staffed for it, but the shipyard is staffed for it.
Okay.
So just say you got one of these Humvees that was surplus, has to go to an agency, we no longer need it, they will take it back,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
and they can do whatever
Do
they
whatever
want with
they
it, so,
Still got some good parts on it.
yeah.
We have a Humvee.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we got it, it went from the sheriff's department to Barrington, then they gave it to us, and then it broke. And it became a lawn ornament.
That's because the other one. Do you expect that you will be still helping with the transition in fiscal year 25-26? And is there money in here to pay you for that transition?
Yes, and yeah, there's still another full-time position that has got to be filled. So we have been paying 3 officers for the past, since July 1.
Yeah.
So there's money in there. I mean, I'm not gonna, if I do anything, it'll be a day a week. So we're not talking
Okay, so
A
there should,
lot of
there's,
money.
I know every other time we've transitioned someone else, we've had kind of extra money to
right.
pay for that. Okay.
If you were needed or in any other capacity, is that something that's possible that, like, or wanted to do say there was a detail or something that you know, is that something that you could or?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if they
Would do,
if
like-
they had a traffic detail that needed to be filled, if I had a day off, I could fill it.
That's what,
Absolutely.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because that doesn't come out of the town's, but the police department budget.
It's, yeah,
Yep.
something like that, yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Should we start planning your retirement party, is that what you're telling us?
I actually don't want a retirement party. to
It's
be
not, wouldn't be
honest with you.
retirement, it'd be a transition party.
Transition, that's not, yeah. So you didn't say anything about transition parties, so, but I think the chair already expressed it, but thank you very much. I've worked with you for years, you're great to work with.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And it sounds
It's been a
like
pleasure.
everything might be with you, or you might be with us for even longer, so.
That's what I'm hoping, that's what I'm hoping.
That would be-
Yeah.
It's a great town, great town.
How long did you serve, Lee? Or are you serving, Lee?
I started my career here in 1990, and then I got out of law enforcement in 98, came back in 2005, and been here ever since.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
And when I retire, it'll be my 11th year as chief.
Thanks.
28 total?
Hmm?
20, how many years in total,
It'll
28?
be 28 total when I retire. That's enough.
You totally
That's
should have a
okay.
party.
Take a break, yeah, we should definitely have a, or you should have a party anyway.
Are there any additional questions for the chief? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
And next up, we have a representative from the library, correct?
I'm not presenting, I'm just
She's not here yet.
She's not here yet.
Can we text her and let her know?
I don't have
So I
that.
can-
She's on for some.
That's like half an hour, Joe.
When do we tell her to be here? So for 7:45?
Yeah. We're done.
17. Where is
This is the key to the town hall.
I came in late.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the way he said it.
118, yeah. Good.
We were explaining last week,
Right.
budget does not. Benefits, this is just base salary, yeah, this is just base salary.
It's an house. Wow. She's awesome.
So is ABC 6 people,
Maybe she'll come early.
but if 6 is full?
6 is full.
I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
So you need one more
I'm trying very hard. Working on that.
Are you?
I brought somebody, did you bring somebody?
You brought someone?
Brought Jenna.
Oh, to,
Yeah, she's
Possibility
a
of-
cost accountant and she may be interested in joining us.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. a brilliant
Thank you.
mind for budgeting, so I'm doing my job.
Take it.
We need more.
But she was asking me how many people it was, I can't remember if it was 6 or 9.
There's six.
6 positions, and they're not all 3-year, right?
That's what I thought.
It's probably because it was filling somebody that had.
Oh, okay.
They go in
I mean, I
different
think we've
years,
had
but
some shoes because people were filling, but I don't think that they're supposed to be too.
That's the kind of stuff I think we need. Because all
Okay.
those little towns,
and
We have,
people resign.
they can't pay, I mean, your house is here, or even thousand, minimum, basically, not minimum, but.
Oh, that's from my headphones.
Right, well, your headphones, maybe you
Your
need new ones.
headphones are
Yeah, I know that, but
They
they
keep
won't buy
falling
me
apart.
ones
You can't keep
because
going.
they,
You
I did that,
keep
and I
buying from
replaced,
them.
I replaced
understand
just
every day.
pads.
Oh, you,
I did that. I bought, for my ones at home, I did that.
And
okay.
And
that's
I
on
feel like
We are being
But how do we
recorded.
gotta be
Yes.
innovative?
I increased the lifespan of my headphones
Like,
by years.
McDonald's has got robots.
We should pause the recording so no one watches this nonsense later.
Yeah, so.
We need Denise, and she stepped out, so.
She stepped out to see if she could find her speaker.
Yeah.
They still have the orange thing, but they're doing.
Well, I struck fear and.
Yeah, they have an AirPods too. I have a really weird headphones, those headphones.
Yeah.
I have AirPods.
That's
Yeah.
Deb Shamble.
I don't like AirPods. I bought the AirPods. At my son's suggestion, I think my son knows that I'll buy
Oh,
myself
okay,
like
sure,
the
sure,
newest
yeah.
model.
That's hard.
And
to
then
do.
he'll
want something for himself.
Exactly, so he knew that you weren't
That's
going.
interesting because
So
they
he
are,
was
they're really often, they're robots, you know.
I think.
They're all the time.
Assembly,
Yeah.
or touch-up, or, you know, which is what you do.
So 2 budgets.
Yeah.
That's really nicely.
They've been around. I mean, I've been working in companies that have
Hearing tonight, and I told him the library.
you know, and I mean, I'm not,
That was a joke.
It's
Usually the ones
sorry.
we try and throw money at are,
you know,
the,
and I
social
also use
service
robots, I'm
agencies.
just saying,
We've
because
been known to-
robots wouldn't really fit.
Throw
in
money?
this-
Well,
Yeah, robots
in
wouldn't fit. in
relative terms.
This scenario at all, a lot of maintenance, a lot of knowledge of tech, et cetera.
Pretty much what they ask for is reasonable, so it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
for especially
In
for
a
the
big
amount of work that
company,
they
it
do,
works
I'm like,
very
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I do feel bad
But,
for them.
yeah,
So
no,
then you're like, we really should give them,
We should give them more money than they're asking.
But I just think economies of scale too,
More.
and resources.
What is a snuff
But
of that?
we've got a
what?
great recycling center.
Library
Just invite
operations things.
the others to
They have
come in.
snuffle mats.
Let them have that still go away.
It sounds like something for the dog,
Put it
doesn't
on
it?
the
I'll Google it.
And they can.
It ends up saving us money in the long run too, because the town usually is responsible for,
Okay.
so
Can't
all
keep
these.
asking for more.
Okay, so
More
snuffle
buildings
mat
and
mat
more
for
heat and more
an
cooling and
animal.
more people and
I
higher
know.
wages.
No, I would have one for an animal, but that's what you get when you Google snuffle mat. I'm showing a picture. Not looking at the picture.
At the library sometime?
Yeah, it's been for years.
Was that for that?
Yeah, she's not letting me know, she doesn't wanna see it. Pat.
Those are snuffle mats?
Yes, but it's either,
They look like they're for dogs.
yes, maybe they make them for children
We
as
can
well.
ask.
What is it?
I mean,
Give her your
I
snuffle
think
back.
they like digger their faces around sticking trees in it and stuff too. And they snuff it in the
And so, does it?
Who's doing the
For
presentation?
the first time in ages, so I
I don't
think
know,
it's.
yeah, I've never seen. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't think it's just make picture just for dogs.
You always are, and that's why we heard seven. And you didn't wait till 7:30.
And we're glad.
All right.
Please, do we want to pause the recording? We're really sitting around the table now for 20 minutes of dead air.
Service dogs supposed to be so much.
I'm
So
thinking.
people watching at home,
John,
can we do that?
me too.
If she remembers how to do it.
No, well, another, I don't wanna make 2 recordings. So
Have you seen our
Can
renovation?
pause it though?
I can pause it, but usually the non-public thing goes up.
So we have to.
Okay. So then we're just, we'll just have to fast forward. They'll just have to fast forward.
Yeah.
Fast forward? Yeah.
Where have you been?
You get the time code this
before, you'd be like, oh yeah, we're in the library. Right, but if you saw it before,
Wait, doesn't
no,
it-
it's library, so pretty darn nice.
What is a snuffle mat? Why does the library have a presentation on the snuffle mat?
You want to give?
You can
Sorry,
sit for
there's
a
kids.
Where would you like to be? You look tired. Are you okay?
I'm not.
Then why don't you sit down?
I'm not super close.
You don't bite, you sew this thing.
You don't want me breathing on you either.
Oh, all right.
I'll be all the way back.
Maddie did walk around today growling at people, so.
Haley, do you know everybody?
Now this one, you
No.
don't know
Kobe.
Kobe.
You don't.
My name is Kobe Troidel.
Nice to meet you, I'm Haley.
Hi.
I don't think, does Annie not know you?
The
And
library
Annie,
trustees are here as
Yep.
well.
Annie Gazowski, Katrina Palakia, and
Deborah.
Deb Shannon. And this, you said only four, right?
So we have five that
Oh, you
are
have five.
Mark's out of police side, so I don't feel
And-
you know all of your
Oh, you
members,
don't?
so we're moving up.
Barbara. Kobe,
Kobe?
Kobe, yes.
Yep.
Hi.
you know me.
So Rebecca, yes, there we go.
Dave Benson. Barbara Murdock.
Erica.
Eric Johnson. And Denise is hiding behind the podium.
Denise, do you need her to have a microphone so that you get the read those girls?
I can stand it, this is easier.
No, no, it looks.
We cater to sick people.
Not people we like.
You don't need it. You guys have a copy, right? You don't need the screen?
No, I mean,
I know that if the people on top of the microphone, Denise can't do the notes correctly.
Oh, right.
She's mentioned this multiple times, so I'm trying
I'll
to.
very hard. I'll try.
So it wasn't about this, we're using all this coloring paper.
Everybody ready?
Okay.
All right, I'd like to welcome Haley Van Gils, the library director, to present her budget request.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. I'll just go through my presentation as it stands. I hope you had a chance to look at it. It's being submitted by all of the trustees and myself, most of which are here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to either stop me or ask away. So if we go on to slide number 3, library operations. I wanted to make a big deal about this last year because even we've had a whole year from start to finish of renovations, and I feel like we have done absolutely everything we can to keep a full library up and running. We have done more programming than we've ever done. We've had more programming attendance than we've ever had, and we have kept full services throughout the whole year, which has been amazing. So I just wanted to highlight everything that's still happened within this last year that we've been operational during the renovation. I think total we had maybe 2 full weeks closed throughout the year, not all at one time, but for electrical works and for power outages, and finally to get our whole collection back in the building. So just wanted to highlight that the operations have been 100% up and running for the past year, and renovations are now this stage complete.
Can you cover the last item in the middle column, snuffle mat? There's been a discussion
It has
about
been a
that.
whole discussion. So the snuffle mats were a crack program for families, and they're treat mats for your pet. So you make them out of felt, and they're like a felt, any shape you like really. We did rectangular ones, and you hide treats in them, and your pets dig in and snuffle to get the treats. It's a kind of people/pet program. Not only are we multi-generational, we're pet generational.
I see you have a doggy stick library too.
We did put the doggy stick library in, which made the news this year, which was awesome. That was just leftover. The town was redoing their, what do you call them?
Kiosk.
Thank you, the kiosks, and they asked if we'd like one, and we put our heads together, and it was just a fun idea. So the news thought it was very funny. So we did add a doggy stick library this year, which our doggy friends hopefully are enjoying. Any other questions about that page? So as you can see, our operations budget this year, we did manage to spend all of the town money and more. We always do. There's always a lot going on. We did manage to stay within budget in most areas, and we do get a lot of donations from our friends which help cover library programming, snacks and refreshments, things like that. So that's an area that I tend to go over budget on because I usually ask the friends beforehand, you know, would you like to sponsor this, would you like to sponsor that, and then they make the donations to us that way. Print, for the last year, obviously due to the renovation, we tried to save money where we could, so we didn't order as much in the building, we didn't order supplies, we didn't order books, we didn't order as many books, I mean obviously we ordered books. We took our collection way down and we weeded out a ton of stuff. So I would have liked to spend more on books, but I also didn't want to box them up and move them 100 times. So we did try to be careful about what we were doing with our money last year. We did slightly go over on non-print items. Those are things like mostly our digital collection, Hoopla, Libby, DVDs, things like that. And again, that collection just needs to keep growing and growing because as well as our physical collection, more and more people are accessing our digital collection too. And I remember that was a question at one point from somebody a couple of years ago, how is the comparison? Well, it's still the same. Just as many people that access digital as they do print copies, so it's hard to align where they're going to be from year to year. Neither one goes down, they just keep going up. Did anybody have, what we did, we have a tech company that helps us with all our computer maintenance, keeping everything up to date, upgraded, updated. This year we combined those things, which were technical and consulting, into the technical line, so that we can keep the current tech support that we have. I know that already this year through the state library, our Libby service has gone up by over $1,000. So, and that's just been passed by all of New Hampshire libraries. So already our digital collection this year alone has gone up by 1,100, I believe our raise was. So I foresee that going up again next year. Our electrical costs, it's hard to say with the renovation. We've had good talks about this. We've done a lot of energy savings, so we did get all the LED lighting. We've done insulation throughout the whole building. Obviously the whole building with the renovation, as we've tried to energy save as best we can. So trying to figure out how much that will save in the bills is going to be, I feel like, another year along the line before we can get a good feel for how much we actually are saving in energy and in costs. Although we've added an additional space to our building, we're now using the basement, which wasn't used before. So we're trying to find that balance really of how much do we ask for, how much do we think we need, how much do we think we've saved. So we're asking for an additional $4,000 on top of our budget this year. Any questions before we move on?
I had a couple of questions. So the 24 actual for your program line,
Yes.
was like double, more than double.
Mhm.
That extra money came from the Friends, which is why you're not asking for much more for this year?
Not all of it comes from the Friends. Some of it comes from other donations too. Like we have patrons that donate also. We did have money left in the budget. We took some out of there. We have a pot in the library that we keep out that people, if they feel guilty that they bought back late, they'll put a couple of dollars in there. So we do use that. So we take money for programming from lots of different places.
Okay, so you think only $1,000 increase will cover the difference between all of those things and what you currently have?
If the Friends continue to support like they have historically, then yes. If that ever changes, and this is where it's hard to gauge programs because, like I say, we've added, this year we did 34% more programming, but we had 30% more people, or the other way around. I'll get to that on the next page. But if the Friends continue to support that programming, then I only added an additional to what we're asking for next year because they usually do they're so supportive. They do a good job with fundraising, and I was hoping that they would continue to do that.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
Yeah.
It was so much different.
It's our programming is huge, and
I know.
and it grows. It just grows. And we've got more and more adult programming going on. We've just added a toddler time. We're trying to do more multi-generational, trying to get different things in, different variety, and that's what seems to be getting people in the building. So throughout the renovation, I feel like the best way we got people in was to do programming. so that they knew that we were still there, and we're still doing, and we're still going ahead with it. So maybe I overcompensated by having more programming to get people in the door, but
I was just curious of
Yeah.
like the difference. And then the telephone and the internet has skyrocketed, I'm assuming?
so we have additional phone lines, 2 additional phone lines for the lift that's been put in.
Okay.
So to have that
Right.
elevator, yeah, we have to have 2 emergency lines down there, so that's gone up. So it's hard to say how that will be throughout the next year too.
Okay.
It should, try to see how it all evens out.
No, that was all my questions.
Okay. Moving on to slide.
That was my question, was the
Oh.
telephone unit.
Yeah.
Wow, they're really jacking us up here.
It did jump up. Now we have, obviously we have our library line, we have our internet lines, we have now 2 additional phone lines downstairs. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Operational expenses, so I just wanted to give out some examples of what went up and what came down, because I did everything throughout the last year. We've had decreases in some things. We had a 13% decrease in electrical, which is great. Printing costs went down. I did get a new printer, and I think that had a lot to do with it. It's more economical, it now faxes, it does more, it uses less. But that decrease could also be because we only had 1 computer available for a year, so we didn't have as much computer use. So that could be why the cost in the printing went down. And again, library supplies came down a huge percentage, and that was because we weren't buying things, because we didn't have anywhere to put it. And mostly, a lot of our supplies include media coverage. So we buy book materials to cover books and tape and things like that, which we didn't buy as much of this year. Things that went up, obviously furniture and equipment went up with the renovation. We did spend a bit more on furniture. Digital non-print went up a little, and programming obviously increased also, trying to get those people back in the door. So that was just an example. Things that I didn't put on here that I just kind of made a mental note of. Our checkout and renewals decreased by 7%, but again, I thought 7% decrease in a year when we lost half of our collections into storage for a year was actually not that bad at all. We lost our non-fiction and our large print and our bios for a good 4 months. So to only have a decrease of 7% there, I thought was pretty good. And our interlibrary loans, we borrowed a lot more from other libraries, and obviously we borrowed 4.5% more from other libraries. Other libraries borrowed 8% less from us because we didn't have as much for them to borrow. But still, we kept all of our services going, and I'm proud of the increases and the limited decreases over that year. Slide 6, library stats. Again, just an example of where we've been in the last year. So we increased, again, our patron visits increased by 6.6% in the last year, even with the renovation. Programs, we did 30% more programming with an attendance increase of 34%, which was great. And our digital items were checked out 24% more too. The only decreases we found in stats were wireless counts and computer use. And obviously we only had 1 computer as opposed to 4 computers, so that made a big impact on those numbers for sure. In the very short amount of time that we've had all of our computers back up and running, that number's jumped up already. So I'll be excited to see the results of that next year. We do still provide service to housebound patrons. That's something that we did during COVID. And it's increasing again. Michelle does at least 4 or 5 shut-ins every week to people that can't access services. So that increased by 5% this year too.
That is water, right? You know.
Vodka.
That's what I thought it was. Wow.
Sorry.
It's
No,
all
it's
right.
just water.
I'm gonna take the load.
It's just water. Any questions on that?
No.
Salary proposal, I'm proposing a 4% increase for all of the team. Obviously, my staff went above and beyond this year. They moved, I can't even tell you how many boxes of books they moved, how many shelves we built and rebuilt, and how much they went above and beyond their call of duties to keep us up and running and to get the library back into the wonderful state that it's in now. So I'm just requesting 4% for the whole team. Slide 8, revenue support. This is where we've had actual money from, which has been the highest amount that we've ever had this year, and largely due to donations. We got a grant of $1,000, which was for furniture in the kids' room. We got a lot of donations for our renovations, so we were trying to fundraise for renovations. We had $1,000 book donations, we had friends donations. It's hard for me to anticipate obviously what's coming in next year, so for the anticipated revenue of book sale fines and lost titles and non-residence fees, I just took an average of the past 4 years, and that's how I came up with those numbers. For the interest income, we have a CD savings account with some funds in that will end in April. So what I did was I just added up all the interest that we've earned over this last year, but minus 2 months, because I know that it's going to end 2 months in April, 2 months before the end of the year. So that's where I got that figure from. And obviously we can't anticipate what donations we're going to get. I don't expect to get as many donations this year. I feel like people saw that the library renovation was happening, it was progressing, things were going on. They were more willing to give to something that they saw was happening. We've got the foundation have got a lot of thank you plaques to to give this year. But obviously we can't anticipate that for next year. Slide 9 is our financial report, which just obviously explains how many accounts we have, what's in there, and what's left in there. So points to think about when we're looking at the budget. We do have an ending balance of just short of 14,000, but I think it's important that we talk about or remember that we've been downsizing our entire collection over the past 3 years. So that money that's left has been building up over 3 years, so that we knew once the renovation was done that we would have to then rebuild our collection, rebuy everything that we weren't buying, and put everything back into the library that we haven't been putting in for the last 3 years in preparation for this last year. Now that everything is finished, this phase is finished, we will be spending that money on collection development, all of the supplies that we need that we haven't been able to purchase, and replenishment of all the media supplies, and also increases in our digital collection too. We were able to make saving costs in tech contracts this year because we have a very, very nice tech company that is very local. They're in Barrington, and because we only had access to one of our computers, they cut our bill in half last year. Obviously, that's not going to be the case this year, so the additional savings that we were able to make, we won't be able to make in that area next year, sadly, because I don't want to lose my tech support. They're amazing, and they do a great job of keeping our library safe. We were, actually I think we talked about that already. Any questions about slide 9 and our financial report? Slide 10 is the support that we get from our friends. So this donation of $7,715 is also included in the previous revenue page of the donations that we received. They've put, as I say, $7,700 into our library this year. Museum passes have increased. They've actually just added another one. More and more people are checking out the museum passes, which is great. They now fund adult programming too, so they're really supportive when we do partnerships with other organizations in town. We do the Backyard Farmers with the Ag Commission. We partner with the Historical Society to bring New Hampshire Humanities, and they'll provide a lot of the snacks and things for that. And they also do their community events, the holiday concert, the flower bar, things like that. So, as I said before, I'm hoping that they continue to support all of those things because they're a great resource for the library, and they work hard to raise us money to do all the things that we've been able to do. And that's the end. You can see some lovely pictures of my brand new library.
And it does look lovely.
It looks amazing. We're so proud of everything that we were able to achieve and with the support of the town and the community and everybody that's been involved. I'm amazed that we've managed to get the whole thing done and we did it and we're able to keep open. I'm hearing of other libraries that have been shut for months and months during renovation. So I couldn't be prouder of the team and the trustees and just everything it looks great. So if you haven't been over there yet, try and get yourselves over there because it's completely different and it looks amazing. Thank you. Any other questions?
Will you let us know when it's Snuffle Mat Day?
Another Snuffle Mat program. No, it was popular program. It was good. Yes. Thank you guys.
You feel better?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm out.
I think everything goes about everything's fake. Thank you.
See you, ladies.
Okay, so the next step would be to have the minutes approved for us.
Yep, we still
because
have-
we're in session.
Yeah, for yourself to do.
Okay. Let's see. Denise, the copy of the minutes, that you prepared?
The questions on the library?
Oh, is that what?
Can they look at the one that you have?
Sure.
It's with the change of one that, there's just a small change on it.
Absolutely.
It's less than a page, so.
Yeah, it was,
You could just,
What did they change?
just,
all in favor.
all in favor.
The part of the vote.
And then prior to the motion carries,
Yes.
it
I thought
would
it was
be
fine.
I
a
wasn't there,
typo,
so
essentially.
it's not me. Were you there? No.
Just us.
There.
It was
You
just
weren't
ABC.
there either, were you?
Good spirit, but.
You didn't have any
Looks
questions
good.
on the library?
I move to approve the minutes from the September 17th, 2024.
Do I need a motion to make the amendments?
I just did,
Okay,
Or-
you accepted them,
yes.
okay.
I did.
Very good.
We'll see if anybody else second.
Second, Tom seconded. Thank you very much.
Boom.
All those in favor?
Nope.
Those in favor?
Sorry, you have to vote.
Oh, we have to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Not you,
carried.
you weren't there.
Scott, before we get off the library, maybe you can answer a question.
Sure, I
Why do they have so many accounts?
I abstain.
They have their own accounts.
Because they're a,
Yeah, they're their own entity.
okay.
Yep.
So they have a non-lapsing account, and they also have a CD, and then they have their operational account. As far as I can tell, that they have three.
Their operations, non-lapsing, savings, and CD.
Oh, they have a savings one.
Saving, yeah.
They're their own entity. So they can have as many accounts as they want. The thing that is not included in her budget is all the extra ancillary expenses.
Right.
Those will get added on
The
with
payroll expenses, the same, I was explaining to Kobe about.
payroll expenses,
Same thing.
retirement,
Yeah,
medical.
same thing that we ran into with the police
Yep.
and all the departments.
Yeah, so when, none of the taxes even are included in their numbers. There's just literally just
Yeah.
how much they want to pay people.
Base salary, got it. Right.
But Andy should include all of the, he'll give us the number based on what they want.
Okay.
When he does the selectmen's budget, he does, he'll present all of that.
Yeah, all the ancillary expenses, yeah.
And that will be included with the final budget submission?
Yes, but it's also included as part of what we call the selectmen's budget. When he comes and makes that presentation, it includes those accounts that accumulate the payroll items from all the other departments.
Yeah.
All right. So do I ask for a motion to adjourn, or do
You
we?
can make one, and then somebody can second it.
Is she adjourning the meeting? Because we said it was a select board meeting because there's two of us. So doesn't the ABC have to close and then we have to?
Yes.
adjust?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we were doing.
May I have a motion to adjourn the ABC meeting, please?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thanks. Select board news week, things we have to do?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do have
What?
municipal association. Are you in favor of one, having me represent you, two, how do you want me to vote on these proposals? That's that thing that Andy sent?
Yes, I didn't know he needed an answer last night.
Yeah,
But
well,
we're
it's
done
this
except for
Friday.
Okay,
recruiting,
well,
Jenna.
there we go. Let me just pull that up.
Huh?
Jenna, did you have any questions while we're still in session?
No,
Okay.
Did we scare you away?
no, I'm still here.
It would have been awkward to
Good answer.
will you
Good
be
answer.
here the next time?
Would you like to come
Fill
back?
out the paperwork.
So if you'd like to take the next step, there's a form that needs to be filled out,
I got it.
and we will appoint you. If you want to fill it out right now, we can do it now, so you don't have to wait.
We have a meeting next Tuesday.
And we have meetings.
Does the ABC have to vote on her appointment or just the select
It's a
board?
board. It's our-
Us, cool. Yes, I'm happy to have you represent us. You're the best.
I know I'm stupid enough to go.
Did you have any questions about tonight? That's kind of how it goes. They come in and oftentimes we don't use up our whole time.
There's two for next meeting, social issues, how many?
The next meeting is.
Yeah, but some of them don't
There's
have.
two, but there's a whole list if they respond.
The next meeting is town clerk, ag, energy,
Yeah, but the
sustainability.
social agencies
Oh.
one, sorry.
Is next week social agencies too?
There's about
Oh, I took a picture.
9, maybe?
Where is that?
Yeah, it's October 22nd, but I thought you sent out something.
Social agencies are down here, okay.
I sent it out
two.
and I'm starting
Now,
to
see, these guys next week,
schedule
but you
them.
have
How
two
many
so
of the
far.
ones that are on next
Oh,
week's?
I've only sent you
Two.
2?
Two?
I
I thought it was
believe
two.
we got
Didn't you just send them today?
Yeah, but those weren't
So what
social
is that?
service. That was,
Oh,
The Municipal Technology Advisory Committee.
I
Oh,
sent
okay.
you sustainability and MTech.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I sent you.
Most of these are very small, and a lot of times
McGregor.
they don't show up
Okay.
anyway.
And then I'll send social service agencies.
Just for the ABC's edification, I'm supposed to tell you the Heritage Commission will not be attending and they will not be asking for any money.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Let's add that schedule, make sure those are real
Cross that
knows,
out.
bump them all up.
That's great, I'll bump them all up.
Heritage Commission.
And
Secretary.
Karen also can't make
Is ag-
that, and so I'm gonna put her on with, when she does planning and zoning,
Who's that, which one's that?
Rec commission. She's gonna do that presentation
Okay,
on
so Rec
11,
won't be
12.
coming next week, because that's Karen. And Karen is planning and zoning, so
Yeah, if you could just send us an update.
I'll move up.
she usually just does it as part of the other
Say
one.
about this. Two things actually. One is that
Heritage
it
is
should be
gonna
energy
be
commission.
presented.
So.
You're gonna be able to do that?
Well, I read his email, I didn't realize what he was asking
Oh,
us.
there's a link on the bottom.
Yeah, you had, like, I looked, like, there's nothing to vote on here, I missed part of it.
Probably the longest
So-
one,
So-
depending on who's
TBD.
Do you have the same opinion as NHMA?
town clerk, tax collector is. Will be the
I'm in
only
favor
one
of
that
that,
has.
yes.
But
I was on
he's-
the subcommittee.
he's a-
Okay.
Yeah, I was on
Is
the-
Eric doing the ag commission?
I have not heard, they're having a meeting tonight, actually, at 7
Oh,
o'clock,
okay.
so I'll find out after.
But none of these other ones, other than town collector, have much in the way of money. Or conservation's probably coming.
Yep, they're asking for a little under $10,000,
Okay.
or around $10,000, I
Were
think.
you the one that said Billy Greeters is kind of,
I do not know,
They're coming,
because they
I
have a
don't
new
have
member.
their-
There's only 3 of them now, isn't there?
there is 4, Tina Sartell joined their group.
Oh,
Oh,
this
she
one?
did.
So I think there's 4.
these are, other than this one up here, these won't take very long.
Denise, I'll connect with you the day before and get the names of everybody so I don't sound quite Anna.
No, you sounded great.
That was perfect.
It's very hard when you don't know everybody,
I know,
but it's a way to learn.
it is. Feet to the fire.
You did a great job. It sounds like you've had experience with this type of thing before. Committees and running things and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I figure out how to manage you guys all, I'll be on.
Yeah, right.
That's
That's gonna be a
That's,
tough
yeah,
job
yeah.
to figure out.
like herding cats.
Is that money spoken for?
Which,
That's up to them.
The library has about $30,000 in a CD left, and I don't know if that's money that is available for their operations.
It's whatever they want to use it for. It's their money, so.
But we can't say to them, gee, you don't need all of the money we normally give you every year because you've got this money over
But
here.
the other thing is, they have money in the foundations, which as far as I know, hasn't been utilized for the renovation. That's almost $100,000.
But that's not their money, that's the foundation.
That's the foundation's money, but it was raised for,
But they don't think they're done yet, right?
No, they don't.
Did anybody speak to John about the meeting with the departments, John Tappan?
no, I don't think so, no.
Okay. Was Andy gonna do that, or?
I don't remember,
Oh, he didn't, but-
yeah. Oh. She needs a pen.
Do you know if Andy was gonna speak to John Tappan about meeting with the department heads to update the financial planning tool?
Do that, that's the first time I heard of it, for this year.
We talked about it at the last board meeting, so I don't remember who was assigned that.
I don't remember that at all.
I thought we were talked about it. No, we didn't?
We didn't do that. Do you remember?
Somebody talked about it.
We talked
We
about it
did it at the
last
ABC.
week.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Yeah.
And I think it was you that was gonna talk to John.
Oh,
Well, what the heck, Scott?
Hey.
Sounds like your problem. What does the minute say? They say Scott Bugby.
Actually,
Oh, she wrote it down.
Scott will request cap reserve funds
I did that,
and
though.
submit
That
to
was-
Denise.
yeah.
Are the bonds all gone?
bonds
Any of
are
this make any
bonds.
sense?
We did pay
I
our
don't know, I
bonds,
was just
didn't
trying
we?
to tell stuff.
Didn't the
Yeah,
bunch
the
of
bonds are
bonds
off,
there?
yeah, the bonds are all gone.
Yeah, we paid.
So there wasn't in the minutes.
Ah.
I remember talking about
I
it.
guess we
What?
can't hold you to
John
that. I
Tappan?
wasn't there.
Yeah, we
Wait,
briefly talked about it.
John
On the other
Tappan,
page.
Was it
design financial planning tool. You were gonna get us the most recent version of the.
Which
Oh,
I
he
requested
did
that.
request
Yeah.
that.
I did
Scott
request
will
that.
ask
Andy
Andy
sent it
for
to
a
you.
copy of the financial planning tool.
Yep, which
Yep.
I did.
There you
We
go,
need
I
to-
did see that.
I think when we were talking about the CIP,
Okay, okay, I can ask him.
I mean, one of these days he's gonna say no.
Well,
He can always say no.
He can always say no, but we need to.
You said he usually takes that on himself and that he usually goes to the department heads.
He does.
Yeah.
So that's what the conversation was.
That was kind of, he usually does that even without being asked.
I'll ask him. Put that in the minutes, or except there's no meeting. Haha.
We've already closed.
Yes.
Anyway, let's take
Yes,
We're still
this
open.
is still the select
Oh,
board
you
meeting.
guys are on
Mhm.
select, yeah.
I guess I agree with what they've written here. Is that what we're voting on?
Yeah, there's more of it, there's like 7 pages on it.
There's 13 pages here. This
Yeah,
is,
you're
what-
supposed to read it all.
I read the stuff up here, but this is the summary, right? Unless I'm misunderstanding something.
Yeah, there's usually 3 sections, there's 3 sections. There's finance, there's governance, and there's, well, what's the other one,
I will
facilities?
read it all later and send an email back to Andy. I don't have that.
Was there
You got-
Mutual
you need
understand.
to vote.
Yeah,
or
vote
amendment?
for what? To
Are
send
you in
you,
support of
or
how I
We can
vote?
leave it
Or
alone.
how are you planning on voting the way they've?
I am planning on voting
Sit
how
here.
you instruct me to vote.
I think us ABC people can depart if we
Yes,
want.
you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we're done. You guys can
Keep arguing.
continue.
So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
if you vote to have me vote the way I want to vote, that would be
No,
something,
you
but,
need to vote the way I want you to vote.
okay. What is that?
I'm just looking for what we're voting on, because what I'm seeing here is, I'm not seeing what.
Principles.
Have a good night.
Support of those particular principles. If you're not in
The way
support,
that these are, yes, that was it anything beyond those? Can we
yes.
take it?
Sorry, I'll write down
Let
some
me see
random
what
stuff and I'll be like, what does that mean?
It's very tiny.
FTE?
No, that is not. what we're doing.
I know, Scott's like, what's your FTE?
Does this go?
Yeah, we're voting on every single one of these particular
Denise.
Are
principles.
those
You went up
summaries
with
on
that,
the
don't
bottom?
you?
No, you're voting on those specific principles.
Okay.
And there's a whole bunch,
Put it on
there's
for Monday.
about
Somebody's meeting
13
is-
pages.
There's, no, it just says,
And they'll
what,
sign it.
it says
And then-
NH,
Supports. Are you in
opposes.
favor of
Office
those?
hours are changing.
Okay, so it's, am I
So
agreeing
the
with what
first
they
day you
support and
can
what they
go is
oppose?
Wednesday.
Okay, then you're gonna vote on that, that was what I did not
So
understand.
Wednesday
each
or
one of
Friday.
those is gonna come up as a
Okay.
proposal, and the group,
Thanks.
whoever shows up,
Okay,
majority of people are in favor of that, yes. There's not too much that's relatively new. Most of the stuff has been there for a while.
they just have to vote on the same things even if they're not making any changes?
Yep, because the group is necessarily not the same every single time, so, yeah. Some of them have dropped off because they've had success in the legislature in getting those things passed. I don't think, at least the committee that I was on, there's nothing that's really brand new.
Okay,
It's rewording a few things. I was not on the other two committees, so I cannot speak to those. In terms of when I reviewed it, there's nothing in there that's like, oh my God, I'll never support this.
they want more frequent state review and approval of electronic ballot counting devices. Was there an explanation for that?
That is not my committee, so I do
You
not
have no
know.
idea?
No.
Just curious why we need more, like what is the current state review and approval? Like why do we need more?
Well, I know they're looking at a new system.
I do that,
So
yes.
that's the only thing I know about that.
Okay, great.
It's not really 13 pages.
It is 13 pages.
Some of the 13 are blank.
Those still count, blank pages count.
State funding, census orders, friendship, proposes, rejections. We oppose Kansas. They oppose Kansas.
Yes. That was not my committee either.
Okay. Interesting. Which committee were you on?
Finance. So anything about money.
Finance and revenue, that one?
Yes. I can speak to anything you want to pick out at that particular one, so.
I don't have any questions on that, sorry. Well, revenue sharing, ooh, interesting.
The basic thing in terms of revenue, finance is getting the state to pay for things that they previously have said that they would pay for, and now they do different percentages, cheaper percentages.
It would be nice if they wanted to increase this.
They are looking at a bill, I don't remember what number it is, but increasing the amount that the state pays for retirement.
For the
A
police,
one-time-
teachers, and firefighters?
Yeah, one-time thing. I don't know what passed. What else was in there? We have more things that were left over than anything that's brand new, so.
Oh, interesting, okay. Yeah, so far I have no concerns, I'm on page 8, so. I mean, so far I agree with what they have listed here, is what I'm saying. So as long
Okay.
as you agree with their, supports and opposes, I don't have any concerns.
So I make a motion that this board assigns me as the spokesperson and authorizes me to vote for all the proposals proposed.
Second.
That's what I'm proposing. I'm watching her, see how many times she writes proposals.
All right, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it. All right, yeah, no, I have no concerns about it. All right, anything else for tonight's board meeting? Oh, did we get that? Can we appoint, did she give us the application?
I have to do the paperwork for you guys to sign.
Okay, but that's it?
I'll bring it Monday.
Okay, so there's nothing else?
So can we vote on her thing just so she can come to next week's, because we won't meet for 2 weeks.
Well, Monday night I'll bring the swearing-in dog to the meeting,
Okay,
to the select board.
Oh, that's
meeting.
right, we meet, never mind.
Yeah,
Never
and
mind.
you guys will do that.
Okay.
okay, and then she just needs to get sworn in on Tuesday then.
Hours change next week. Monday went back to Monday, Wednesday,
So
Friday.
she can't get sworn in
She
until.
is it sworn in until Wednesday?
Yeah.
But can she come Tuesday and sit with us?
Yes.
If we've all signed it? Okay, I will. I assume we'll let her know all those things.
Oh, yeah, I told her a little bit.
Okay, good. Fantastic. She's like another person. Plus she knows, she's got a lot of, knowledge
That's
in the
good.
money world.
That's
Okay.
good.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Oh, you touched my butt. Hey, how come we didn't get names?
We
I
have
forgot
no
what my
names.
name